You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5.
Right now, the search is on for this woman who escaped from a transitional center days after budget cuts would send her and others back to prison in Manatee County, where deputies think she may have headed. Plus, a live look at the nation's capital this morning. President Trump says to make a big announcement today about the nuclear deal with Iran.
And the story behind this underwater rescue was all caught on a police officer's body camera. We've got the video for you this morning. Good Morning Suncoast starts right now.
Good morning, early risers. It is 5 o'clock Tuesday. I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Stephanie Webb. Thanks for waking up with us here on Good Morning Suncoast. Let's head over to John Scalzi. Another steamy day ahead.
Yes, it certainly looks that way. The air quality is down, the fire danger is up, but the humidity is low, so that's the best part if you ask me. A lot of sunshine across the entire peninsula, cloud cover really out in the Atlantic waters with a frontal boundary that's pushing through the entire state. Doppler radar showing everything very quiet across the region. That's the way it's going to be all day today. No rain in the forecast. Temperatures right now are nice. They're crisp. They're cool. 66 Sarasota, 69 in Venice, Inglewood the same. Bradenton at 65. Longboat Key's a little warmer at 71. But the air, the dew point values have dropped into the 50s, and so consequently it feels very comfortable out there. We're looking at a temperature that's generally 5 to almost 10 degrees cooler than it was 24 hours ago. The further inland you go, the cooler the temperatures are. So that's a nice little change. Winds consistently out of the north throughout the day today continue drawing down that drier, cooler air. And we'll look for a daytime high similar to yesterday, coming in around 90. There is a chance of some rain down the road. We'll talk about that in the forecast and take a look at the air quality as well coming up.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Checking first alert traffic. Some early buildup there in an unusual spot. Look at Cortez. Traffic building there already in both directions in that section of Manatee County. Also a blip there toward the base of your screen on University in the westbound lane at Whitfield. Let's check farther south now in the upper half of Sarasota County, Bee Ridge westbound as you approach Honore right there. Also the Bayfront, some congestion there as well. Let's go farther south now to our last maps to the south of us. You'll see one little blip there, 41 northbound as you head through Northport. Otherwise all clear right now at 5:02.
Right now on the hunt, Manatee County Sheriff's deputies are searching for a woman who escaped from a corrections facility in Bradenton. Silver Denise Bean, as you're seen right here, was finishing a 3-year sentence for cocaine possession at the Bradenton Bridge. The Manatee County Sheriff's Office says that staff members at the facility noticed that she had escaped during a routine head count on Sunday. Now, they think she might have gone as far west as Palm Beach, where she's originally from. Now, deputies are asking anyone with any information on Bean's whereabouts to contact them. The Bradenton Herald reports that women detained at the bridge recently found out that they would be going back to prison because budget cuts were cutting into the transition program that they were enrolled in.
Meantime, the search continues for the armed robber who held up a Waffle House on Sunday afternoon in Manatee County. Deputies say a man wearing a hooded sweatshirt and a ski mask walked into the Waffle House near State Road 64 and I-75 about 5 p.m. No customers were inside the restaurant at the time this happened. A woman who works there says the man pointed a gun at her and told her she had 5 seconds to give him money or he would shoot. She said he left with about $400 in cash. If you can help solve this one, call Crime Stoppers at 866-634-TIPS.
An update this morning on the man accused of killing 4 people at a Waffle House in Tennessee. Travis Ranking will undergo a mental health examination. Now, Ranking didn't appear in court yesterday morning. Instead, his attorney asked for a forensic evaluation for his client, which the judge approved. A status hearing will be held in 3 weeks, although his attorney says results of the mental evaluation will not be ready by then. The 29-year-old is charged with 4 counts of criminal homicide in connection with last month's shooting.
Happening today, President Trump expected to make one of the biggest decisions of his administration so far. Yesterday, he tweeted, "I will be announcing my decision on the Iran nuclear deal tomorrow from the White House at 2 p.m. That's today. The president campaigned hard against that deal, calling it one of the worst he's ever seen. Iran says it will not renegotiate the agreement, which has been in place since 2015. Also happening today, both school and city officials will address a security concern around Sarasota High School. Right now, a stretch of School Avenue runs through the campus. Pedestrians and bicyclists can use that road to gain open access to school grounds. The school district wants to add a temporary gate to limit sidewalk access while school is in session and then eventually shut down the road. But first, the school district has to get approval by the city. The two groups will meet today at 6 p.m. at Sarasota City Hall.
Well, here's some good traffic news for you this morning. 3 projects were given the green light, and they're all ones that are going to help the backups in downtown Sarasota. The main focus of these projects is heading to and from St. Armand's Circle over the Ringling Bridge from downtown Sarasota. Now, city commissioners unanimously approved 3 great projects, adding a line over the Ringling Bridge for mass transit like trolleys, lowering the speed limit to 35 across the bridge itself, and then adding an additional turn lane along that stretch.
They're very important. It's all part of an overall plan to really improve the circulation between downtown and the St. Armand's area.
I think, it's affecting, I'm sure, the real estate eventually on Longboat Key and people going to dinner at St. Armand's. I mean, I won't think about going out there during the season because it's just going to take way too long.
City officials say that these projects would also open the way for a lot of state funding, but don't get too excited just yet. It could take anywhere from months to years to make these projects on and around the bridge a reality.
Right now, budget cuts in state prisons are causing a problem treating inmates with opioid addictions. Corrections officials say there's a $55 million shortfall statewide. Programs are designed to help prisoners successfully return to society once they've served their time. One local drug rehab expert says now is not the time to pull back on helping inmates with addictions.
This is the worst drug crisis this country has ever seen. It's not time to be backing off of any substance abuse treatment programming.
A 40% reduction in funding for substance abuse and mental health treatment for prisoners works out to a little more than $9 million.
Well, Walmart is doing its part to help fight the opioid epidemic by tightening their prescription policies, by limiting the lengths of prescriptions and requiring that they be filled electronically, which is kind of some good news in the fight against the opioids. Now, yesterday, they announced that within 60 days, it's only going to be filling first-time opioid prescriptions for 7 days or less nationwide. They're also going to require e-prescriptions for controlled substances starting in 2020. The company also expects online prescriptions to help cut down on fraud and minimize error. Well, we are just a few weeks away from the start of hurricane season, and Sarasota County has released its plan for evacuating the island of Venice in the event of a hurricane. That much-anticipated plan will require busing people and their pets out of Venice to other shelters in the county. Now, to use this service, you must pre-register for it. Then, if an evacuation is in place, you're going to be notified that there are rally points or places that you can go to get on buses and then be taken to a shelter.
They can drive a short distance to a rally point in the city and then be taken by bus to the evacuation center. They're more likely to go.
Now, that plan is going to be put into effect before a hurricane actually happens, which is good. And again, you do have to pre-register for this. Hurricane season starts June 1st.
Happening today, Sarasota County is hosting a flood zone workshop. It's open to anybody who wants to learn about flood zones, maps, and regulations. County officials will go over mandatory insurance requirements and why flood zones are continuously updated. The free workshop will be from 10 in the morning to noon at the Selby Library. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, slow moving and unstoppable. We have incredible video of the lava flow in Hawaii at 5:22. Plus, Marla?
And Marla Spence, the recent romaine lettuce scare may have you concerned about other foods in your pantry. Coming up, what you need to look for to keep your family safe.
And here's a look outside of Ray Collins' favorite window, a satellite view of Earth.
Oh, that.
There we go. There's John Scalzi's parking spot right there. And speaking of the weather back here in Florida, what's it going to be like today, John Scalzi?
It looks pretty good, actually. We're going to have a lovely day today. Again, low relative humidity is making it feel very comfortable despite the fact that temperatures will themselves be a little bit warmer than average. No inclement weather box checked on the drive time commute forecast. Everything looks good out the door. 60 degrees on the way back, about mid-80s. We'll have little in the way of any kind of rain chance probably for the next several days. And all airport hubs serving Sarasota International Airport running on time again this morning. According to the FAA, we'll have your complete forecast, including the air quality index, which is a little dicey today, coming up in just a few.
Here's something we bet you didn't know. Nearly half of all cancers can be prevented. That's right, half. nearly 50%, mostly by making small everyday changes in your diet and controlling your weight, walking more, eating less, and eating foods that help you and your family to seriously reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, by not smoking. Visit the Cancer Prevention Together We Can website and get a free 30-day planner filled with tips, recipes, stats, and more about protecting your family. Go to prevent50.org.
From the moment she walked in the door, we stopped having to go to the pharmacy. Certain prescriptions, my health plan or the pharmacy wasn't even able to get here. And hospice provided them, and all we had to do was call up, and the next thing they know, there was another, a delivery.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big, or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $15 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 4 times in a row. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317, go online, or visit a Target store today.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So for today, we're looking again at this dry air in place, which means nighttime temperatures cool very effectively. So we're down into the 60s now, feeling pretty comfortable for most folks, I would think. And then by 7 a.m. we'll get up to about 66. That's where we are actually right now. We'll probably lose a degree or two. Then as dawn breaks, maybe we'll pick up a degree or two. Then we'll look for a temperature of about 87 degrees by noon. That's a pretty big jump in temperature, and the reason is the air is so dry. Dry air loses heat effectively. It also warms up pretty quickly. So as we warm today up to the 90-degree mark by 3 p.m., we may have a brief period of time where our ozone starts to get in the unhealthy for very sensitive people category. So wait and watch for that. And if you're one of those folks who has a sensitivity to ozone and you want to keep yourself protected, then you just probably want to limit your outdoor activity during the hottest, sunniest part of the day. Although we aren't there yet, we are anticipating that we might get pretty close to that later in the afternoon. Okay, that said, as we head into the evening hours, 85 degrees, beautiful sunset, lots of reflected colors from the setting sun, and not much in the way of any kind of cloud cover to obscure it. We have 59 degrees, the dew point value. We have a north wind coming in at about 3 and a 66-degree air temperature. So as I mentioned yesterday, we had some very dry air located in the northern tier of the state. Watch what's happened. That has sunk southward now, and we're looking at dew points that are generally in the near 60-degree range or even lower, as we have in Sarasota at 59. So that's comfortable, and that's going to kind of hang around for a day or two. So pretty nice, actually, to have those kind of dew point values at this time of year, especially on a peninsula, right? You don't normally get dry air at this time of year on a peninsula when the daytime high is going to hit 90. Wind will come out of the northeast again today pretty consistently, and hour by hour through the morning shows nothing in the way of any kind of rainfall around. We stay sunny right straight through the noontime hour. Temperatures climbing into the mid to upper 80s. And then as we head into the afternoon, we'll be hitting the 90-degree mark in many locations. We'll have maybe even some 91s or 2s on the boards in inland areas. And no rainfall in the forecast straight through the evening and into tomorrow morning. So pretty nice stuff. The frontal boundary sinking southward will pull up stationary right along the southern tip of the state. That will eventually be a player in our long-range forecast, but for today, all it does is provide the space for that dry air indicated by TAN to sink southward. But as you'll see, with high pressure building in, wind shifting to the northeast, the frontal boundary itself sinking south and pulling up stationary, we'll eventually watch the tail end of that front start to lift back north as a warm front over the weekend. With that will come our rain chance. And we'll have a rain chance really both Friday night starting, but Saturday, Sunday, even Monday, with chance of scattered afternoon showers. Warm and sunny today. The front stalls out to our south. Better weekend rain chances as that front returns back to the north as a warm front. So those are your weather highlights that carry you through the next several days. Here's the forecast for boaters. Northwest wind coming in at about 15. Will be a little bit breezy this afternoon. Watch for a moderate chop on your bay and inland waters. And your forecast today. Calling for a daytime high near 90 with mostly sunny skies. We'll be watching the air quality index, and of course fire danger also continues to rise. We'll talk more about that in the next half hour. Also sunshine, temperature of 88 tomorrow. Warm for several days. Start working in a slight rain chance on Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday, and Monday all have pretty reasonable rain chances for afternoon showers and maybe a thunderstorm particularly. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Take a look outside to your first alert traffic out there this morning. So far in Manatee County, our only real big hot spot is Cortez. That's a little slowdown going both directions in Manatee County. Other than that, that's about all to see there. If you're heading into Sarasota County, those roads are looking a little bit better. No real traffic blips just yet. A couple of things right there on Fruitville Road, just a little bit of a slowdown off of 75, but other than that, not much to see there. Heading a little bit farther south, if you're going 75 or 41 south, both of those routes are looking pretty decent this morning. It is 5:17. And that is your first alert traffic. Well, since April, there have been more than 25 food recalls, according to the FDA. Many of those were recalled because of salmonella.
Well, we can't control contamination in the packages in our refrigerators, but we can control the food that is in there. Marla Spence has some tips on keeping your food safe. Marla?
Good morning, guys. One big concern when it comes to food safety is knowing the difference between the best by date versus the sell by date on food we buy at our local grocery stores. Dr. Maria Portelos Romito is a family and consumer agent at the University of Florida IFAS Extension Office. She says the sell by and the best by dates we see on our foods are not required by federal law. Dr. Portelos Romito says those dates are really for the consumer to get an idea on the best quality, the best flavor, and the best texture of food.
It's not really to represent food safety, but once the package is opened, somewhere on that packaging it will say used by, once open, used by 3 to 5 days. And that's an important rule to follow with pathogen multiplication.
Dr. Portelos Romito says shelf life of your food depends on how it's handled in your home and if it's stored at the proper temperature. When it comes to the most common items like milk and eggs, Dr. Portelos Romito says those items will only have a sell-by date on them. Coming up a little later, we'll be telling you how long after the sell-by date those items should be consumed. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Marla. Still to come on Good Morning Suncoast. Happening today, could flying taxis be here sooner than we think? Well, if it is up to Uber, they will. We're going to tell you about their big proposal today that regards the future of our transportation.
And next half hour, Harvey Weinstein's New York prosecutor now in trouble himself. The allegations he's facing and what that means moving forward. Stay with us, but first, a peek outside at Atlanta, Georgia. Right now, it is 62 degrees. There's the Skyview Atlanta Ferris wheel, 20 stories high on Lucky Street.
Lucky Street. I think Ray Collins is going to feel pretty lucky if he ever gets to ride on that thing.
My homework today on that one. It is 5:19. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast.
Since 2004, Embracing Our Differences has used the power of art and education to promote diversity.
One way it accomplishes this is through its annual outdoor exhibition of 45 billboard-sized works of art, each accompanied by an inspirational quote. Join us in creating a community that is inclusive for all, where differences are embraced and individuality is celebrated. We invite you to celebrate the voices and visions of diversity and inclusion at this year's exhibit at Sarasota's Island Park.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
Everything all right? Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
For more than 100 years, American Humane Association has been teaching kids to be kind to animals. Those in our homes, on the farms, on the silver screen, and wildlife conservation, caring for the world's vanishing creatures. But we can't do it alone. Visit kindness100.org to find ways to teach kids how they can make a more caring, compassionate, and humane world for all of us.
All right, look at this video of a Texas police officer jumping into a lake to pull a driver out of a car. This happened Saturday morning near Houston. Witnesses say the fast-moving car jumped a curb and went into an embankment. Officers broke a window and pulled her out of the car before it sank. She told police she fell asleep behind the wheel. No injuries. Could have been a lot worse, though. The lake is full of alligators and snakes.
Well, Mother Nature's wrath continues in Hawaii after the eruption on Mount Kilauea. That lava continues to flow, as you can see here, and watch as it even swallows a car whole. This time-lapse video from Brandon Clement shows a Ford Mustang being consumed on the Big Island. Now, the lava and the ash are flowing across the road, eventually overtaking the whole car on the road. 4 days ago, the volcano erupted, causing lava and other dangerous gases to seep from cracks in the ground. Now, as of Monday, 35 buildings have been destroyed. 26 of those were homes. Evacuations continue as authorities urge people to stay away from the area amid those concerns of more earthquakes and destruction from the eruption.
It's an amazing time-lapse video there. Well, as you know, gas prices are on the rise, but how much are you actually spending now? Reporter Nicolette Perrone has a closer look.
AAA puts the nationwide average at $2.82. While the statewide average is about 20 cents lower, it's still causing concern. How much does that really affect your wallet if you're filling up an 18-gallon tank weekly? Less than you may realize.
So $9 a week, it comes out to about $480 a year or $500. So if you equate that, I sit there and think about, what did I have for lunch today? Well, my lunch was $11, but it only cost me $9 or close to $10 for the entire week to fill my car up.
The biggest reason for this hit on your wallet is crude oil. It's now above $70 a barrel for the first time since November 2014.
We were in a very low slump for quite some time. In 2014, when we saw the beginning of the downfall of the oil and gas industry, it fell, and it fell quickly. So in 2015, we actually reached like $26 a barrel, which those prices had not been seen for decades.
Experts predict prices to continue to rise as the summer driving season rolls in, thanks in part to a federal refinery regulation.
This thing that happens every spring, and that is the refineries kind of change the way they blend gasoline and start doing a different blend of gasoline for the summer months. That typically tends to pinch supplies up a little bit when that happens, because they shut down for a while and then reopen. Those blends are a little bit more expensive, which often tends to push prices up on a seasonal basis as well.
Well, as we mentioned, gas prices are on the rise. 7 cents in the past 2 weeks is how much it's gone up. The national average for regular gas is now $2.90 a gallon. It's about 49 cents more than just a year ago. Crude oil prices are expected to continue going up, increasing the cost for gasoline. So what can you do? Well, here are a few tips from AAA and Gas Buddy. First, super important, keep up with vehicle maintenance like oil changes and tire inflation. Those things alone can really help maximize your gas mileage. Also, watch how you drive. Use cruise control as much as you can to maintain a consistent speed as well. And this next one is a tough one, obviously here on the Suncoast. But use that air conditioning sparingly, like maybe don't use it so much in the mornings, open a window. If you can, that'll actually help conserve a little bit more gas in the car. All right, flying taxis within 2 years, well, it could be a possibility. It could happen. Uber is meeting with transportation officials today.
Also there, George Jetson and Jane, his wife.
Right, right.
Details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Uber makes its case for taking flight.
The company is holding talks with federal transportation officials in Los Angeles today to discuss the safety of flying taxis, all in hopes of testing them out by 2020. Uber has already released a video showing how its flying taxi fleet will work. A new on-demand self-driving car service is heading to Texas.
A startup called Drive AI is launching a pilot program this summer using driverless vans to transport thousands of workers through an office park near Dallas. Officials hope the program will ease traffic jams. And this next idea is literally pie in the sky.
Yeah, starting tomorrow, JetBlue says it'll fly New York City pizza to people in Los Angeles and deliver it right to your door. But only 350 pies will be delivered each day through Friday. It's part of a promotion with a pizza shop here.
Those are your Tech Bites.
Tech Bites, sponsored by Flonase.
You wouldn't accept an incomplete job from anyone else. So why accept it from your allergy pills? Most pills don't finish the job because they don't relieve nasal congestion. Flonase allergy relief is different. Flonase relieves sneezing, itchy, watery eyes, and a runny nose, plus nasal congestion, which pills don't. Flonase helps block 6 key inflammatory substances. Most pills only block 1, and 6 is greater than 1. Start your day with Flonase for more complete allergy relief. Flonase, this changes everything.
With Roomba from iRobot, clean floors can be part of your family's everyday routine. Roomba's 2 unique multi-surface brushes grab and remove everything from fine dust to large debris and even pet hair. And Roomba uses a patented dirt detect system that attacks dirt in high-traffic areas of your home. So you can come home to clean floors every day. You and Roomba from iRobot. Better together.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right?
Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed.
Isn't it? Why
is heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy.
I have questions.
Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
You now have the power to prioritize your Facebook feed and get local news and information from the team you trust. Go to the ABC7 Sarasota page on Facebook. Give us a like, then click following and choose See First. That's it. Customize even more by choosing notifications. Choose breaking news, posts, live videos, anything you want to see in real time. Take control of your newsfeed and stay connected to what's happening in your community with ABC7 on Facebook.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, restaurant guide, and more. Go to mysuncoast.com/dining. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5:30.
I would love to look at his face and say, "You didn't break me."
This morning, another woman speaking out with details about the attack she says happened nearly 40 years ago.
When you're grocery shopping, do you know the difference between Best Buy and sell-by dates? Our Marla Spence has some tips for us.
And one high school is going above and beyond the effort that they're making to make football smarter and safer for their parents. Those stories and more right now on Good Morning Suncoast.
Good morning, 5:31. Glad you're with us. I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Stephanie Webb. Thanks for waking up with us today on Good Morning Suncoast. A little cooler part of the day, a little less humidity, right, John Scalzi?
You got it right. You're a good weather watcher. We have some slightly drier air that's filtered southward. That allows the nighttime temperatures to cool off a bit more. And we're running around 5 to even 10 degrees below where we were 24 hours ago, particularly in inland areas. Cooper, our youngest weather watcher, comes in with 64 degrees. Becky in Old Mayaca, our coolest weather watcher, and I mean that literally and figuratively, comes in with 52 degrees. Our clouds are out in the Atlantic, and that's caused by a frontal boundary that's stalling out there. We don't get any rainfall today, though we could use it. Our drought indexes continue to rise across the Suncoast. Local temperature 66, Sarasota, Lakewood Ranch, the same. Bradenton is at 65. Longboat Key, you've got 70. Down in Inglewood, you've got 69 degrees. Venice at 68. And inland temperatures running a degree or two colder. 64 degrees, Wauchula, 65 in Arcadia. Top it off today at about 90 degrees, similar to where we were yesterday. It's going to be a warm afternoon, but at least with lower humidity, it's not that bad. It could be worse. It will be worse next month. We'll talk about the entire forecast coming up in just a few.
All right, John, talk to you soon. Checking first alert traffic right now. Not much to speak of so far. That earlier issue on Cortez has mostly cleared up, otherwise clear. Checking farther south now, the upper half of Sarasota County. No red right now. You'll see some congestion there along the bayfront as you head south on 41 past the Sailor and Nurse statue and where the 301-41 Apex meets. Let's check farther south now in the South County region. Really, so far, nothing to speak of at this point. 5:33 on your Tuesday morning.
Well, was the fox watching the hen house? The New York Attorney General going after Harvey Weinstein, now facing assault allegations of his own this morning. New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman resigned yesterday after a report in the New Yorker accused him of assaulting multiple women. In yesterday's report, 4 women came forward saying he was physically violent with them. 2 of those said the violence happened while they were in romantic relationship with him. Governor Andrew Cuomo called for his resignation after the report. Manhattan's DA office says it has opened an official investigation. Schneiderman has been a vocal proponent of the Me Too movement as well, even bringing legal action against film producer Harvey Weinstein. He so far has denied the allegations on social media.
As Bill Cosby awaits his sentence this morning, another woman has come forward with some fresh allegations. The alleged victim says it happened decades ago when she met him for drinks to talk about her acting career. And as she tells reporter Monica Hernandez, the drink was already mixed and waiting for her.
And I carried it around in silence.
Finding peace isn't easy.
Never told a soul.
When you've carried guilt and shame
for nearly 40 years.
I felt like I had to do something for closure.
This Denton County woman is speaking publicly for the first time. She asked us to identify her only as Katie. She took us back to the night that changed her life. It was February 1981. She had just graduated from UT Dallas and was spending a few months with family in Denver.
And worked in a club there as a cocktail waitress where Bill Cosby was performing one night. We got to talking backstage, and I told him that I was very interested in starting my acting career.
She says they met in the club's private dining room.
All I remember is taking 2 sips of that glass of red wine, and nothing after that.
She says the next thing she remembers is waking up in a hotel room.
Until I looked up and saw Bill Cosby standing over me in his robe, and he was not dressed under his robe. I immediately panicked. I could not figure out what had happened.
She says she rushed out, was in pain for days, but the deepest wound is still healing.
It's so much worse than the bruises he left behind. I mean, totally was convinced that it was my fault for all these years. Never doubted that it wasn't my fault. I mean, he's Bill Cosby, you know, America's dad.
It wasn't until other women started coming forward that she says she realized she'd been drugged.
All of a sudden, this huge light bulb goes off over my head, and I'm thinking, oh, that's what happened.
She was prepared to testify in his latest trial, but never got her day in court.
I would love to look at his face and say, you didn't break me.
And that's why she's breaking her silence.
Talk to somebody. It's not your fault. It's really not your fault.
In hopes she'll help other women find their voice.
That was Monica Hernandez reporting. Meanwhile, the Kennedy Center says it has stripped Bill Cosby of several honors. The center announced yesterday that it was rescinding 2 awards given to Cosby. The honors were Artistic Achievement Awards. He, of course, received the Kennedy Center honors back in 1998 and the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor back in 2009. Last week, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, they revoked his membership. The Television Academy has now removed all mention of him from their roster. Cosby faces a possibility of spending the rest of his life in prison after a jury found him guilty last month of sexual assault.
Back in this area, the city of Sarasota is paying college students $200,000 to help improve the quality of water. University of Central Florida conducted a taste test with local residents last weekend. In fact, of 5 samples, Sarasota tap water received the lowest rating based on taste, odor, and appearance. Currently, the city has 2 water sources and 2 treatment processes. One does not remove the sulfur.
As we move through with UCF in terms of our drinking water solution, then what we'll do is we'll actually conduct additional taste tests throughout the year and as we move forward and so on, because we want to get our residents' input as to whether or not what we're doing actually meets their expectations. It's something that they would drink.
UCF students are trying to figure out how to remove the sulfur in the water in the most cost-efficient way. The first study results are due back in October.
Well, the recent romaine lettuce scare may have you concerned about some other foods that may be in your refrigerator or your pantry.
Our Marla Spence joins us now with what you need to look for to keep your family safe and knowing the difference between sell-by and best-by dates. Marla?
Good morning, guys. Of course, we can't control how recalled food items are packaged and sent to grocery stores, but what we can control is what's in our refrigerators and pantries and how we store them. The big question is, when it comes to food, is knowing the difference between the sell-by and the best-by date. A family and consumer agent at the University of Florida IFAS Extension Office says both are not required by federal law. She says although this may be true, some items like eggs and milk should be consumed within a few days after the sell-by date.
It's not really to represent food safety, but once the package is opened, somewhere on that packaging it will say used by, once open, used by 3 to 5 days. And that's an important rule to follow with pathogen multiplication.
Dr. Portelos Ramitos says the dates for food is for consumers to get an idea for the best quality and texture of food. She says anytime you bring groceries home, to make sure you store them in your refrigerators at about 35 to 40 degrees to make sure your food is safe. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Marla. Well, making football safer and smarter, Lakewood Ranch is going above and beyond to keep their players safe. The school's football program is investing in brand new helmets and pads that they hope will decrease the likelihood of concussions. Lakewood Ranch High School head football coach Chris Colton says their new smart helmet is state-of-the-art. Now, each one of these smart helmets is actually equipped with 5 different sensors registering a player's every move. The coaches say that these helmets will ultimately help make the game safer.
And what this does is it gives us an actual data point and data set where we can lock in and see, whether the kid's showing symptoms or not. It can monitor when a kid is having excess contact, when the kid's had contact, where the contact has come. I can pull this device up and tell him if he's leading with his head, if his head's too low.
Now, only a few players will be wearing the new smart helmets during the spring season, but in the fall, every player will have been fitted and ready to go with the new helmets as well as the pads.
Still ahead, a story on teens and sports drinks with a story on why the two shouldn't go together.
And how this weekend's Kentucky Derby really changed one woman's life, what she managed to turn $18 into. We'll have her story. You will not believe it. But first, we're going to get pretty lucky with the weather outside today. It's a beautiful start to the morning there, John Scalzi.
Yes, it is, and the air quality index looks pretty good for us. Oh, the cam, yes, the tower cam also shows some very clear, beautiful skies out there. Now, the air quality index shows yesterday's readings coming in at, well, not so great, 95. That's just a little shy of requiring an advisory for very sensitive people who are very sensitive to ozone, compromised respiratory systems, that sort of thing, small children. We'll watch it and see. It's very possible that this afternoon we could exceed the limit, the threshold for requiring that advisory. Now, the fire danger index is not looking swell. We have extreme fire danger category now in Charlotte County, and the very high category is now extended to a great deal of the Suncoast. So, danger with fire is a real threat. Hopefully, we'll get some rainfall coming up this weekend. We'll talk about that forecast in a second.
Judy here, I think hospice was a tremendous source of support for her.
Absolutely. With Jennifer and Kimberly and Liza's constant contact with us, coming in, just knowing that there was someone with knowledge there to back us up, to answer our questions, it made a world of difference.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big, or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $15 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 4 times in a row. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317, go online, or visit a Target store today.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome.
I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So as Hurricane Preparedness Week continues, we're going to speak about the topic today of your hurricane supply kit. I like to think of it as a kit that you put together, tailor-made to yourself, that will allow you to go wilderness camping for a week to 2 weeks. That's pretty much what you need in your kit. We like to say that there are two kinds of kits that you need to have as well. The supply kit, if you plan to shelter in place, that one would require, of course, a larger capacity because you're going to have to take a lot of things. You have to gather a lot of things. But if you're going to evacuate somewhere, you'll need a go kit, which is a suitcase packed with everything you need to go to a hotel room for a week or so. If you need any information on putting your kit together, I suggest go to John Scalzi ABC 7 on Facebook. I've got some links there that will take you step by step through putting together your supply kit, what you need in it, how long that supply kit should last you, and what the life expectancy or shelf life, I guess you could say, is of a kit. Basically, you have to do one every year. Looking at sunny and dry conditions throughout the day today, 66 the air temperature by 7 p.m., 7 a.m. rather, and then as we head into the afternoon, temperatures will continue to rise up to around the 90 mark, just about the same as yesterday. In fact, today, kind of a carbon copy of yesterday, really, only with perhaps some slightly lower dew point values in the afternoon, making it feel more comfortable. I mean, really, on a scale of 1 to doesn't get any better than this, how good was yesterday evening, right? That nice dry wind that came in and really kind of cooled things off. Same sort of situation as we head into this evening, I think. We'll get a nice breezy wind that will be delightful during the evening hours. 66 the current air temperature, dew point value in the 50s. That doesn't get much better. North wind coming in at about 3. Winds out of the northeast will continue throughout the afternoon. Maybe a little bit of a sea breeze trying to build in during the later part of the afternoon right along the immediate coastline. Otherwise, inland winds, I think, will be shifting more to a north or stay northeast. As we head into the evening hours, plenty of sunshine, clear skies, no rain in the forecast for today. It's beautiful. So we have a frontal boundary sinking south. This is a secondary cold front that will be moving through the state of Florida tonight through tomorrow morning. What it will do will be to stall out through the Florida Keys. As it stalls out on the Florida Keys, high pressure builds in. We continue with the northeast wind, and we have several days of absolutely delightful weather. Then, over the weekend, that stalled out front will start to lift back north as a warm front, and that will help trigger off a few scattered showers. Before that, we'll probably try to moisten things up Friday into Friday night with a little bit higher dew point values. But for today, sunny and warm weather continues. The front stalls to our south, setting us up for the weekend showers. And the weekend rain chance will probably bring us about a 30 to 40% chance of showers as we head into Saturday and Sunday. So the forecast, there we go, looks like this. Daytime high tops out about 90 today. Tomorrow about 88. Plenty of sunshine both days. Thursday, maybe we start to moisten things up just a little bit. Friday, I think you'll notice the increase in humidity, and we'll start to factor in a rain chance late in the evening into the overnight on Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday. Put in that 40 to 50% chance of a scattered shower, maybe a thunderstorm, particularly in the afternoon, and that'll carry on until the beginning of next work week. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look outside to your first alert traffic out there this morning. Not too much going on in the area in Manatee County. Some slowdowns right there on Cortez a little earlier, as well as State Road 64. Not too bad out there just yet. We're starting to see a couple of those upticks in congestion out there. University Parkway, Bee Ridge Road is another one that's starting to see a little bit more cars as we pick up throughout the morning hour. A little bit farther south in the area, if your commute this morning includes Port Charlotte or Punta Gorda, you're not going to have too bad of a commute out there as well. Those roads are looking pretty decent. It's 5:49, and that's your first alert traffic.
In this hour's Health Smart, Gatorade, Powerade, vitamin water, they line the supermarket shelves, but who shouldn't be drinking these? Well, the American Academy of Pediatrics says the average teenager should not have these drinks. They say sports drinks offer electrolyte replacement after physical activity, but teens are more likely to drink them because of multi-million-dollar marketing campaigns. Many states have banned sodas in schools, but still allow the sale of sports drinks, even though they're full of sugar and calories, a setup for obesity and future diabetes. Doctors warn teenagers do not need those sports drinks.
Well, the world, at least most of it, is loving Avengers: Infinity War. The latest Marvel mega smash reached $1 billion in worldwide box office in just 11 days. That is the fastest a movie has ever hit that milestone. And even more interesting, that's without the world's second biggest movie market, China, where Infinity War doesn't even open until this Friday.
An $18 bet paid off big for a Texas woman on Saturday. She played a pick 5 bet on the Kentucky Derby. She chose the winning horses for 5 different races, winning the big prize. So her $18 wager secured her $1.2 million. That's almost as much as the Derby's winning ownership team made. They Justified's owners won $1.24 million. You got to play to win.
Yes, you do. And if you want to play on beautiful weather today, you are also going to be a winner. It is looking another gorgeous day with a high of about 90, but not a ton of humidity. We're going to have one last look at the weather for you before we leave you today. Good Morning Suncoast is on right now on ABC 7.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
My name is Julius. I have cerebral palsy. I work for Farmer Jeffy Weising Law Firm. I do a lot of data entry and scanning documents. I want to increase my working experience to make the company much better. At the end of the day, it's good to think of the day's work and to think about what I have accomplished.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard serve to give back to their country and communities. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for an array of benefits, such as affordable health and life insurance benefits, education benefits, including tuition assistance, student loan repayment and GI Bill programs, a retirement plan based on part-time service, and VA home mortgages. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about all the benefits available in the Army National Guard.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure
Mind Your Meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
I'm Alan Cohn. Changes to the Florida Constitution. Add a little here, take out a little there. How will it impact our lives?
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
It is 5:54, and here are some of the top stories that we're following for you on the Suncoast today.
This inmate at a transitional center in Bradenton has walked away. The 37-year-old disappeared Sunday from the Bradenton Bridge Center on 63rd Avenue East. She was serving time for cocaine possession.
And Lakewood Ranch is trying to make the game of football safer for their players. They've invested in new state-of-the-art smart helmets, each one equipped with 5 sensors and helps register a player's every move, hoping to cut down on concussions.
Wow. And Sarasota is paying students at the University of Central Florida $200,000 to help with the city's water quality. A report is due in October.
And coming up in the next hour on Good Morning Suncoast, we are all looking for different ways to make money. How would you like to make some extra cash without having to leave your couch? Yes. Well, I'm going to have some creative ways for you to make money online. Plus, the lava just continues to flow in Hawaii, already destroying 35 buildings. The frustration that residents are voicing this morning.
Let's check the forecast now. Last time this hour, here's John Scalzi.
Yes, it looks good for us today. Top it out at about 90 degrees. Plenty of sunshine straight through the period. Watching the fire danger index, watching the air quality index, and I'd like to watch the beach because it's going to be a beautiful afternoon at the beach. UV index coming in at about a 1088 near the coastline. Absolutely fantastic. We'll have the complete forecast for you coming up in a few.
All right, 5:56. Glad you're with us. Much more of Good Morning Suncoast next hour right here on ABC 7.
Well, thanks for watching. We'll be right back.